Hi, welcome. This is Elsa. Welcome to my kitchen. I'd like to propose you a Sicilian menu today, and I have for you an insalata di arance e capperi and a spaghetti al pesto trapanese and another little surprise. But we'll come to those details in a moment, because before that I would like to tell you a little bit more about myself. I am Elsa, like I said. I am Portuguese, but I lived in Sicily for quite some months. I lived there for a little bit over half a year. And during that period, I learned a little bit more about the Italian kitchen, but more specifically about the Sicilian kitchen. And actually, that's when my love for cooking started, because before that, I was at the university and I was studying, and you know how that goes. So after I got there, I started missing my mom's food, and I started missing, certain Portuguese dishes. And then, I had to try them on if I wanted to have them. And next to that, I got to learn, like I said, the local recipes, and I was privileged enough to have people close to me, like my coordinator during my internship and her mother, who would shout at me in Italian, and she would go like that, very slow in Italian, so I would learn the language. And you might say that's impossible. Well, actually, it works. So that's how I learned Italian, and I got to get this passion inside of me for the Italian food. Because of those two reasons, the fact that I was living there, and because I know that you might be going to Sicily at some point with Holland American cruises yourself or some of the passengers, I thought it would be a nice idea to prepare some Sicilian food. So another thing I'd like to tell you before I start, or a remark I'd like to make, is that although I am Portuguese and I was living in Sicily, and you may think, it's all about the same, it's all the Southern Europe. It is, but it isn't. We do have a lot of differences, and I was confronted with those for quite a few times, and that added up to my passion for the local food. But I'll come back to a story on that later on. So now let's start with our menu, and like I said, we will be doing a pesto alla trapanese, means pesto from Trapani, because the original pesto is pesto genovese, and pesto genovese is from Genova, and it's made with pine nuts and with basil and with olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of probably grana padano or parmigiano reggiano, and that's the classical version of it. But today we are going to do it with almonds instead of the pine nuts. Garlic, of course, it also is on the original recipe of pesto genovese, and the olive oil, which I am lucky enough to have a very Spanish one that a friend of mine gave me, because being an expat also has its advantages. So we get this very nice food coming from the original countries, and we have some tomato sauce and some other things. So I have made this mise en place. This mise en place is it means to divide the ingredients already in the desired quantities to make it faster. And like Jamie Oliver says, you need that, and you need your appliances ready, like a little food processor. You need a mini one for this one, you don't need a big one, to be able to do it in the 15 minutes, as he says. So I'm going to start with the almonds. I'm going to put them in our little food processor, and then I'm going to put the garlic in there that we will be needing. And I have a confession to make. Actually, I'm no chef, that you would have guessed by now, but I am also an intuitive cook. I don't really like to follow the recipes, and I think that's also one of the beauties of the kitchen, that you can improvise and that you can put your own imprint and give your own twist to the recipes. And I do that not only with the ingredients, but also a little bit with the quantities. Now what I'm going to do are the quantities for one person, but I can send you the copies of the recipes and the recipes are actually all the ingredients given there are for 4 people recipe. So, but don't worry, that will come later. Now I'll just show you the process. I'm concentrating on that one. So now we're going to get some basil here. We want to have quite some basil because a pesto should be very green. That's one of the qualities of the pesto, so to say. So we wash it. Okay. We put it in there as well. I think I need some more. Like I said, I go by intuition and by flavor. Wash this one too. There we go. We put it in there. I will add already a tiny bit of olive oil. Oh, dough, Usually you would add it only later on. And then we will put the tomato. I'm going to make a little bit of noise. I'm sorry for that, but that's the only way to go. So there we go. Almost done, but it's being, it has its own will, so the basil came all the way up. That's okay, because we have to add the tomato anyway. Let's see if I can open it with my greasy hands. I can't. Wait a second. No, I don't. I was gonna say I might need my crew to open this one, but it's not necessary. I managed. This is totally not according to the traditional recipe of a pesto, because a pesto doesn't have tomato, but this one does. And it's, comprehensible because, or understandable, because it's Sicily, and in Sicily, the ingredients, tomatoes and almonds are in abundance, so they have to make use of the local ingredients. Sorry for the noise again. Almost, I promise. Okay, we do have some nice, I don't know if we can call it a pasta, but it has a nice consistency here, the one I was looking for. You see, everything very little. Okay, so I hope we can do this in a short time, because usually that's also another of the advantages of Italian food, is that you can make it in a very short time. So it gives you the possibility of actually, I'm gonna put some more oil, guys, sorry, I'm gonna make more noise, but I'm not happy. I'm going to add a little bit more of olive oil. And since it's all about flavor, more than about the looks of it, at least in my case. So there we go, a little bit more. But I was saying, Italian food gives you the opportunity to enjoy your guests. You can make it in a short time, and then you can just sit and enjoy the food with them. That's one of the big advantages. You can make it after a long working day, a warm day, because Sicilian food is very fresh, is very much for the summer. You can just do it in 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more, around that, I would say around that. And then you can just enjoy it. Enjoy and sit down with your guests. So, one more. Yes. There we go. Now it's really good. Yes. Now I'm happy. Okay. So, now we are going to put it in our pan. And keep it there for a little bit, because now we need to put the water I have preheated beforehand in the kettle. Now I'm going to put it in a top pan here. I want to have it boiling again, really boiling. And once it's bubbling, then I will add the sea salt that you see here next to the pan. And only then I will add my spaghetti. And we are almost done, really. Almost unbelievable, but it's true. So, while our water is going to heat up again and our pesto waits over there, I can prepare the dessert, or, well, no, I'm lying, it's not a dessert in this case. It could be, but in this case it's our salad, and it's going to be our starter. So Usually in the original recipe it's blood orange, but in the case of not having the possibility of buying blood oranges, you can also use grapefruit. So I have already peeled it. I'm going to slice it. Yeah, you have to prepare this stuff, otherwise you don't have, you cannot make it in the 15 minutes we promise, huh? So try to slice even slices. Then we are going to put it in beautiful plates. Like I said, I am making it for one person, so it's a very small portion. Then we are going to put some lemon juice there. This lemon is already peeled because I used the skin of this lemon for the surprise, which I almost said right now, you know, a few seconds ago about the dessert, so pretend I didn't say it, it's still a surprise. Now I am going to put lemon juice. Try to put your hand like this. If you put it like this, you catch the pits. And you don't have to use any juicer or anything. You just catch them with your hand. So there you go. Or as many as you can, because I already see that I lost one there. But it's okay. So we're going to use the juice of one whole lemon. There. Okay, and then we are going to add our capers. Just try my hands. There. Haha, yes, I managed. So, I have chosen for these capers, they are in vinegar, but you can also have the salted ones. And the salted ones, I would advise you to actually wash them a little bit, because otherwise they're too salty. There. So, super easy, as you can see. There you go. And now we are going to season it a little bit. We need, you know, a drizzle of olive oil, not more than that. There. And we need a little bit, yes, this is the salt, yes, we need a little bit of salt, very little. You might think it's a very weird combination, but believe me, it's really, really tasty and really, really fresh. So, this is our starter. Starter is ready. Let's check. Haha, our water is boiling. So, I'm going to add, you see, a handful of sea salt, and it bubbles even more. Let it, you know, really melt in the water. And while it does so, we are going to prepare the cheese. The cheese, which is part of the original recipe of the pesto genovese, so the original pesto from Genoa, but which I love. And what I do, I always in cases where the recipe doesn't ask for the cheese and where I like the cheese, which is almost ever, because I just love grana padano with pasta, I put it on the table and I just inform my guests about the original recipe, and I tell them, you know, you're free to decide if you want to have the cheese or no. So I think it's nice you tell them it's your own twist, but it doesn't belong to the original recipe, and then it's okay. So I'm going to prepare it to have it on the table. Another thing, you know, I'm thinking of the pastas with fish, seafood, shellfish, whatever kind of fish. They never, according to Italians, they never, ever, ever should have cheese on it. Sometimes I do, especially the ones with shrimps, but you know, then you know. So here we go. Another thing I could tell you while our pasta boils, actually I have to first put it in the pan. Wait 1 second, I'll be right there. So our cheese is here, it's ready for later. Let's check. Yes, now it's ready. I'm gonna, you know, cook a handful. Again, the quantities are on the recipe I can send you later on. So a handful is enough for a good plate for one person. I'm putting it there. Don't break the pasta. Don't break the spaghetti. It's a pity to break the spaghetti. You don't need that. So you just put it in there, and once it starts, see, it's bending. It's getting softer. You just push it in. You can use, let me see, something like this, and just bend it in once it's a bit soft. It's nicer to have it all, the whole spaghetti on your plate. And I can teach you how to eat it. Another thing you can think of, if you want to mingle in and do not look like a foreigner, is that never ask for a spoon. Never. I mean, if you ask for a spoon to roll your spaghetti on your fork, you are accusing yourself as a foreigner. What you have to do is, like with your fork, I'll show you in a minute when it's ready, but I can explain you already. I mean, you grab a few spaghettis, you push them to the side of your plate, and then you roll, and I swear to you, it's possible to just roll it all on your fork, and then you eat it. So don't ask for the spoon. And while it's boiling, I'd like to tell you that it's very easy to bring Sicily to your table with a few ingredients, and those would be, for example, the bloat oranges or a nice limoncello to help with your digestion at the end of the meal, for example. But in case you cannot get hand of those, you can, for example, have fennel, you can have mint, and you can have pistachios, and the mix of these three in a salad, or using them separately, for example, the pistachios on a dessert, the mint on a salad, or even the finocchio on a salad, they already bring you that freshness of Sicily to your table, and yeah, it's a very easy way to have those typical flavors. Oh my God! Wait. Yeah, it's okay. We don't want it to be overcooked. We want it al dente, so I keep an eye. But talking about the fennel and about the salads, I had a very funny anecdote when I was living there. Doing my internship, like I mentioned before. I remember going to my coordinator's house, and I had this very nice salad, and it had, a funny onion with a very funny taste, and I kept on eating and thinking, weird, we don't have this onion in Portugal, So weird. So at the end, I couldn't resist, and I had to ask her, what kind of onion is this? And she, she was laughing because she said, this is no onion, this is fennel. And I had no idea what fennel was, because we use the green part of it, to season salads or to season cookies. But the white part, the bulb of the fennel, we throw it away, or we actually give it to the pigs. So we don't eat it at all. So that's one of the differences between the two countries, for example. And I remember going back to Portugal, and I really wanted to show this. Oh, wait. I really wanted to show this fennel to my family. I wanted to make a salad with fennel. So I go to this very big supermarket that had an enormous department of vegetables and fruit. And I was lucky enough to find a little small box on the corner with very old fennel on it. And there was no price, there was no name, there was no nothing. And I had to really, look around to find a very, it was okay. It was not very old, it was not very good, but it was edible. So I took it to the counter, I go there, I'm ready to pay, and the girl at the counter looks at me and she's like, did you see the price? And I'm like, no, there was no price at the box. Oh, do you know the name? And I'm like, well, I do, in Italian. In Italian it's finocchio. I have no idea how you name it in Portuguese. I don't know. And she was like, neither do I. I cannot charge you. And I'm like, well, but I want to buy it, yeah. But I cannot charge you because I don't know the name. And luckily enough, there was a lady like 2 counters to the back that shouted the name in Portuguese, and she was like, Fuxu! And that's how I learned how it was called in Portuguese, because I had no idea. Like I said, we are not that good with vegetables, or as good as the Italians are. So it was a nice experience. And now you know it too. Let's see. This is probably not the way you should do it, or a professional would do it, but that's the way I do it. Almost al dente. That gives us time to turn this one on, which is also not conventional or not part of the recipe, but I like to warm it up a bit. I think it adds a little bit to the taste. I can add a little bit of oil also there, because you don't want your pasta to be extremely dry. There you go. So, okay, I'm making a disaster here, guys. So, this one is almost. I think in the meantime, I can already get our surprise out of the fridge, which I was preparing yesterday, and I hope it's okay. It's a Jello al limone, it's the name of it. So let's go to my fridge. I made a few today, but we only need one. Let's see if I choose a nice looking one. There. I use these silicone molds because they are fantastic. They are very easy. So there you are. Isn't it gorgeous? Our little Jello limone is made of maize flour, and it's made of with sugar, and it's an infused water with mint and lemon, the lemon skin I showed you before that I took away from this one. That's what it's in there. You should be able to be here and smell it. It smells lovely, really. Okay, our pasta is now ready, I'm sure. I'm not going to use a scola pasta like a traditional one. I'm going to use this one because I don't want to lose my spaghetti. Let's see if I can do it on my own. I think I can. Yes. So, I never put the pasta under the cold water to stop the cooking, as some people say. I don't know. I don't like the taste afterwards, and I also don't put any olive oil in the pan. I just I have the olive oil on the sauce, so there's no need to have the olive oil also in the water when boiling it. Okay, this one is already sizzling. That's how I wanted it. There, we kind of fry. It's probably not the word, but we fry it a little bit. There, you mix it very well. You see, it's all about the ingredients and about simple flavors and simple ingredients of quality. That's what's Italian kitchen all about. You don't need to make it very complicated and be hours in the kitchen, not at all. And I assure you, it's absolutely gorgeous and tasty and fantastic. So, this one is ready. Now we are going to put it here. Haha. You can try to make little nests because it looks cuter. There. And today the pasta is going to wait a little bit. Usually if you have guests, you put it on the plate and you go to the table. You don't want your pasta to wait too long. When it's ready, it's to eat straight away. So there you go. It's a very big plate. Oh my God, I'm making a mess. So now I am going to put the cheese, like I said, because I just love it. And I love a lot of cheese there. So we do have our starter, our main, and our dessert is almost ready. Like I said, it was made with infused water with the lemon skin and mint. And I am going to serve it with pistachios because they are lovely with the dessert. You can also make pesto with pistachios, by the way, should you want to. It wouldn't be trapanese, but you know, it would be your own twist. Okay, they say you can use it as it is, but I always like to wash it, these plants. So there you are. Oh, you know, a chef would be able to make it so much nicer, but you get the point. And that's your dessert. And as I promised, you see, I'm going to, you know, push it to the side. You roll it, you see, it's possible, a very little tiny bit. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll enjoy this and some other gorgeous Italian or Sicilian food. And yeah, buon appetito!